Okay. So it seems like I have to open up YouTube Studio. So I have to be accessing YouTube Studio in order for it to work. Right? Basically, Google says, we want you to log into YouTube Studio. Oh, look at YouTube Studio. Yeah, what if you used YouTube Studio? You should use YouTube Studio. Isn't YouTube Studio so cool? Right? And so they're forcing me to just, like, I didn't even do anything. I just opened it, and then I stopped the stream, and then restarted the stream, and now I'm live, right? Huge eye roll, but could be worse, right? I could have to jump through a bunch of hoops. I could have to reset the stream key every time. That would be annoying. That would make me stop streaming to YouTube for sure, for a time at least. That should be fine then. Just like, I just gotta make sure I open it, then start the stream, and then we're good. Okay, boom. I gotta buy a Firewire card. Alright, back to this. What was that? Oh, never mind. I assume my chat box still works, so we'll just leave it there and hope it still works. Okay. Focus. It did not work. I don't know why. It's funny because this worked flawlessly on the other system, but it just, like, I click it and nothing happens. And then I gotta go to Taskman and kill it, because all it does is... Wait, what? I didn't even open this time. Didn't even try. Okay. It was worth a shot. It would be nice. It would be nice. Be right back. Oh boy. So anyway, the plan is going to be a Wii at one, Trinitron, a Wii at the other, and then a GameCube in between. And I should be able to somewhat easily go from independent Wii consoles to a duplicated feed to both TVs. That will be the plan. So the GameCube is going to output component to the distribution amplifier, and then we're gonna. I think it would be so all of our sources, regardless of what's going on, are always gonna have to go through. Oh wait, no, you know what? This might be difficult. This might be tricky because I need to think about this for a little bit longer. Hold on. So to split off the GameCube, right? The GameCube is going to get fed into the distribution amplifier, and then from the distribution amplifier, they're going to have component going all over the place. Component going to the stream, component going to so we could have it going to a single transcoder and then splitting off of the transcoder to each CRT. However, then we'd have to completely re-architect the whole thing, right? So I think we're gonna have, but you see, if we have the transcoders right off of the VGA input to the CRT, then we'll have to split both Wii's, right? Using the distribution amplifier, of which I only have one. You see, and so if I want to switch, between Wii sources going into the stream PC, most of the workflow needs to be RGB, right? But in order for it to work with the GameCube, most of the workflow needs to be to the distribution amplifier. So I need to find a way to design it. This is where I wish I had I'm gonna get smart boards soon, so that way I can just draw out like much easier. So once I have a smart board in here, I'll be able to just tap a button and then the smart board's getting streamed, and I'll just be able to draw on a nice big projector surface. But it'll be a couple months before I have one. Alright, let's see here. Oh yeah, so I'm not gonna be able to mirror Slippy on that streamer because it's just not gonna load apparently. See, on the one hand, you might say that I'm being silly and that I really could just use Windows 10. Right? I don't have to use Windows 11 or Windows 12, but the problem is you have to draw the line somewhere. Because eventually Windows 10 is going to suffer the same fate as this. And then eventually Windows 11 is going to suffer the same fate as this. Right? That's how it works. And so you kind of have to draw the line somewhere. And so since Windows 10 is eventually not going to be supported, and since I'm primarily using older hardware, that I would rather not have to struggle under the weight of Windows 10. It sort of makes sense to just draw the line here. I just can't wait. I'd be really annoyed if Slippy just drops support for Windows 10 in the future. It'd be super annoying. Super annoying. Well, you know what? See, because they're building new versions of Slippy, which is built on top of Electron, right? And so Electron is eventually going to drop support for old versions of Windows. You know, maybe I should just build for Linux. You know, maybe I just have Slippy Maybe I just run the Linux version. Oh, whoops, that's not what I actually wanted. Boom. Right? Boom. Boom. Oh, I have to actually click that as well. Okay. Boom. Right? Maybe I just use this version instead of dealing with Windows. Yes. Linux. But then the other problem is, of course, FireWire drivers. Linux. I mean, actually, they're pretty generic drivers. It probably has drivers. Okay. Oh, it has a modern one. I don't love Linux. That's the problem. I just prefer Windows. It's just a better operating system. But of course it depends on how you define better, right? From a user interface perspective, it's better, 100%. But unfortunately, if you consider the fact that that only applies to versions of Windows that are 15 years old, then it's slightly more problematic, because now it's an issue of software support, which of course Linux doesn't have that big of a problem with. And if you consider the purpose of an operating system, the purpose of an operating system is to run software. You know? That's all it needs to do. Stay the fuck out of my way. Run my app. Thanks. You know? But I also just have not found a Linux distro that I like in terms of user interface. That's the other thing. Like, they all have dog shit user interfaces. I like i3, specifically for what I currently use Linux operating systems for. i3 works great. But like, if I'm running OBS and I want a touchscreen and I want, you know, if I want what this thing does, Linux sucks. However, at the same time, Linux would run that version of Slippy. It would, in fact, run the Slippy launcher. So there's that. But also, I don't think it would run very well on this. I have a hard time believing it would. I just don't think it would. But it could work. Alright, sweet. You got that. Yeah, I just don't think I want to ring this guy. I don't know. I don't know. Too many options. All of them have weird, bizarre, annoying downsides that I have to work around. I feel like consolidation is impossible. I feel like I have to have 3 different fucking computers there. And I don't want 3 different computers there. Two would be okay, but I just like I can't do it. I have no idea why Slippy was able to run on this machine. I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense. They're practically configured exactly the same. Like, the operating systems are practically the same. This one's worse. This one's got slower hardware and a hard drive, you know? But it was able to load the latest version. Even using those extensions, it was able to start up. Well, it's funny, because without the extensions, it threw the same error, but with the extensions, it's just not turning on. I just can't... I mean, it opens, but it just, like, launches 3 processes, and then they just sit there in the background and don't do anything. I don't know why. I don't know why they don't show up on the screen. I mean... Maybe I just got it. Maybe it just takes a while. I don't know. Oh, let's check... Ow. What am I doing? I'm doing this. Boom. Let's check. That one spot where it does the updates. Oh, that's just the setup. Okay. Yeah, figures. That's just logs. Power register, suspend, resume notification. Who cares? See, it's always dumb shit. What was that? Warnings. Failed to resolve null. Number 3. Oh, here we go. Failed to dynamically. DLL not found. NT status. Intel Management Engine components. Implement API. I don't care. I do not care. And you also process mitigation policy called an unsupported Mitigation policy value 4. Mitigation policy. Come on. You know, like, apparently it didn't have this problem. Oh, wait, no, I installed, let's see here. Let's see here. Give me my on-screen keyboard. Yeah, 1444. Oh, nope. Yes, definitely gotta leave that there. So we have the most up-to-date redistributable that we can have. This guy. Okay. Oh, this guy. Is this even necessary? Because that's what the error was talking about. Well, I mean, one of them. One down here at the bottom. Failed to dynamically load. Something about the management engine. Oh, it's like a lot of different ones. SimServe DLL. SimServe. By debugging tools. Well, it's because it's looking in the wrong spot. Failed to dynamically load C Windows System 32 SimServe DLL. According to Google, that's not where it's supposed to be. But it also has all these other paths, this like huge list of different paths where it could be, including Kex64. With that one, that just shouldn't do anything. Let's look at some of these other ones. This one got way farther. Okay, let's make sure this isn't running. It is not. always running as admin seems to fix stuff. I'll never know why. Boom, boom. There it is. Just had to try a little bit harder. See, because here's the thing. This stuff should not be that complicated because minimal differences in API, right? So, go figure. Go figure. Just had to try different options. See, Linux doesn't work like that. Can't do that with Linux. Linux is annoying. To be clear, no matter how much of a Linux person I become in the future, because I already know I will be. I mean, I already use Linux where Linux makes sense, of course. I will never stop shitting on Linux because it's just kind of funny too, I guess. I don't know. There's something funny about diehard Linux fans. I don't know. Like I wouldn't necessarily describe myself as a diehard. I mean, I don't. Am I a diehard Windows fan? I think I like the way it looks. I love the way this looks. It just feels so functional, you know. And it hides thing that I shouldn't have to worry about. Right? It takes the things that me, the user, shouldn't have to give a shit about, and it obfuscates them. And it just says, you don't need to see this. You're just trying to run your applications, right? Then we'll just hide it from you. And now go run your application. Oh, look, your application worked. This is an edge case because I am going out of my way to run unsupported software. It's the only reason Linux is better. Just because there's really no such thing as unsupported software. It just kind of works. I guess that's a bad way to put it. There is always the potential to make it work. You can always make it work with enough effort. That's just not the case here with Windows. Because you will reach a point where you just for example, trying to run NDI scan converter. That application simply depends on something that you cannot patch into Windows 7, no matter how hard you try. It's not something that gets updated ever, right? WDDM 1.1. It's that's just baked right in, you know? And there's nothing I can do about that. I don't think there's anything anyone can do about that, to be honest. Alright, well, now that we've got something working, let's see how it runs. This is the second half of the problem. Can we get it to do something? Let's find out. You know, I could patch audio into here, but you're gonna hear it over the camera anyway, so don't matter to me, man. Like he said, don't need that. I closed my laptop and it fell asleep. I need power for this now. Powered off the Wii. Hey. I'll have to wrap this up later. Not today. on the network. We are 328. We will. Nintendo. Wait, you know what might be cool? Check this out. I wonder if I can add a window Dude, let me scroll. Oh, haha. Yeah, probably gotta do that too. Right there! Oh, actually, I'm gonna move it. That's what I'm gonna do. To... where'd I put it? My documents. Move it there. And now you're gonna try it again. That's good. Boom. I hear some fans spinning in there. I really wish it would show the... I really wish it would show the zoom when you pause. I wish it would show the pause menu, is what I'm trying to say, when I zoom in and it's funny. But no, it makes sense it doesn't, because it's not like capturing the game, it's just like capturing game state and not necessarily like the state of my controller. Basically, it'd be a lot of work for something no one cares about. Look at this funny dude squatting. Okay, anyway. That works really well. Oh, disconnect. per game. Okay. Oh, it's because it's currently running. That makes sense. Stop. And then... Okay. See how DX12 works. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Didn't like that. Okay, it's not happy at all. Close the program. Oh, you know, I'm gonna see if that opened up with the thingamajig. So if we go here, boom, 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 and then, oh wait, where are the logs? Oh, dude, where are the logs? I forgot. Oh, they're in, probably where they're supposed to be, right? Yeah. Slippy Dolphin does in fact show up. Yep, and it does run with this. So I wonder if... Is that the most recent? Yeah. So I wonder if this also needs to be... run as admin. So let's figure out where this guy is. That would be helpful. I assume you can still probably see that. Yeah, probably. So let's go somewhere to find where Slippy keeps the actual emulator. Elevate.exe. Well, here's what we'll do then. Configure Dolphin, and then we start the task manager, and then we look for Slippy Dolphin. Boom. And then we right click. Open file location. Oh, it's in roaming. Okay. Slippy launcher, roaming Slippy launcher, playback. NetPlay has its own version. We're not ever using NetPlay on this, so we're just going to deal with playback. And this guy is going to get his properties ran through. Now if I do 12 or 9, that works. How about 12? Ooh, does not like that. Okay. Oh, I'm an idiot. Windows 7 doesn't support DirectX 12. Silly me. That's right. Close the program. So that will never work. That's okay. At least it's running as admin now. So at least there's that. Graphics settings. So yep, DirectX 11. As good as we're gonna get. I think Vulkan also doesn't work. I mean, it looks like it's a pretty solid 60, but we're gonna double check. Oh, we're also running at 2x. Don't need that. 1, none, that. Force texture filter. No, we don't care about that. Disable texture filter. Interesting. Don't care. Anyway. Boom, boom, boom. Sure, we'll try that. Probably just gonna leave it as is. I assume it's fine for what it is. Oh, that's definitely gotta do that. Oh, crap. Probably pick it from its native aspect ratio to 4:3 versus 9. Okay. Show input display. I don't know what any of these do. Tile shaders on startup. That might help with like performance, but probably not because you're going to be swapping between multiple views and just add time. Plus, I think it's fast enough probably as it is. So 73 by 60, that creates square pixels, which is nice on a display that has pixels. However, well actually yeah, we'll do that because obviously the Wii is gonna do it the right way for the players, and then this is specifically for the stream, which is all square pixels. So we will do it the way it should be. Boom, and then close, and then audio settings might help. So in some sense, it doesn't actually make sense to have this here. And it makes more sense for it to be this. So put that guy up there. We're actually gonna remove that. And then we're going to add we're actually just gonna go back to this, actually. Alright, so let's connect, let's mirror, full screen. Oh, that was big lag. Big lag. So that's not a stable 60. Is there some way? And we're also not even streaming it properly yet. That's the other thing. So let's add game capture, I guess, possibly. I feel like there are many ways to do this. Let's consult the computer. Best OBS option for streaming Dolphin. Do not use display capture, window capture, game capture. Yeah, figured. That makes sense. But hey, you never know. You never know if there's like, oh, you can do this, and it's funny, and it works good. But yeah, I suppose game capture would be the most ideal in this sense. Capture specific window. Oh great, fastest. Limit memory, apply transparency. Okay. Window of same type, find window of same executable. I guess that's okay. So we do that, and then we go here, and then we pick, oh, it's not there. Oh, it's got the name of the setup in there too. Same type window, same executable is fine. Okay. Oh, it's gone. What happened? Ooh. Okay. Let's try that. Okay, so that doesn't work. Why doesn't that work? Was there for a bit? Oh, it just closed. Alright, so that's not gonna work. Love me some DX9. There's all the options I want, so may as well. Just hope it doesn't run like shit. Oh, full screen is we're not going full screen. Oh. So I can set the aspect ratio but not control the resolution. Except for the full screen resolution, which I don't. I'm not full screening it, so. Actually, it probably would end up being full screen, wouldn't it? We'll do that. And we will use full screen. Oh, it just showed up and crashed. I feel like I'm not really doing anything crazy here, you know? This is not really that crazy. I have a feeling it doesn't have anything really to do with the version of DirectX going on. Just a feeling. Should I use 11? Oh, input display. Yeah, input's right by the emulator. That makes sense. Hold on. Something about those hooks. What's the new is going, but it's not looking There's no way I'm facing the wrong way for the second time in a row. Okay, now it's working. I'm gonna quit OBS and I'm gonna open it with the API, the goofy API thing. I don't know what to call it. The thing that works. Let's put it that way. Oh, don't do any of that. The API backport. It's a backport. So we are gonna. I'm gonna have to go back to YouTube though. That's annoying. Oh well. Let's